Hi everyone. Today we are going to start with the chapter 4 nervous communication. We are going to explain activity 1, which includes the organization of the nervous system in the vertebrae, page 64-65. At the beginning, we are going to define a nervous system. What do we mean by nervous system? The nervous system is responsible for coordinating all of the body's activities. It is all the activities done by our body, they are controlled by our nervous system. It's a system of reception. It is the one that receives the messages from our sensory organs. It is the system of a transmission, and it is the one that transmits all the information to all our body organs, which are accomplished through the spinal cord and the nerves. And it is the system of memory, it's the system of command, it's the one who gives orders, and it's the system of controlling. It is responsible for controlling all our body uh, actions or movements. So the nervous system, if you see that it is responsible for performing all the activities needed for our body. Here, the nervous system consists of, what does it include? When I say nervous system, about which parts we are talking in our body? We are talking about the brain, we are talking about the spinal cord. It consists of the brain, the spinal cord, and it involves the sensory organs and all the nerves that connect the organs to the rest of the body. So, to be more simple, the nervous system consists of the brain. Here is the brain, the spinal cord, and all the nerves that emerge from the spinal cord and from the brain. So, our nervous system is divided into two parts: the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. The central nervous system includes the brain and the spinal cord, and the nerves, look at the nerves, they are at the periphery of the spinal cord, so they constitute the peripheral nervous system. Every function of the human body is under control of the nervous system. Here it is showing you that it is a system of control. It is controlling all the movements of the body. What do you mean by dorsal and what do you mean by ventral? We are going to use them in the following activities. Very important to know what you mean by dorsal and ventral. Dorsal, it has another word. We can replace it by posterior, and ventral, we can replace it by anterior. Dorsal, it means posterior or back side. Ventral, it means anterior or front side. Now, let's move, after defining the nervous system and knowing its parts, let's move to differentiate between two terms. What do you mean by vertebrates and what do you mean by invertebrates? The vertebrates, they are the ones that have a backbone or a spinal cord, while the invertebrates, they do not have a backbone or spinal cord. Look here at the animals that have a backbone: the cow, the fish, okay, the duck. Here we have the invertebrates. You see they are all insects. So the invertebrates, look here at the invertebrates, they do not have a backbone. Look here, we have mainly marine invertebrates: the octopus, the lobster, we have the starfish, also the spider, it is an invertebrate, the earthworm, the ant, the butterfly. And with respect to the vertebrates, we can start by us. We have a backbone, we have a spinal cord, and other animals: turtle, chicken, shark, elephant, snake, lizard, and frog. All these, they have a backbone or spinal cord. Look here, this figure is showing you the backbone, the spinal cord. The vertebrates, they have a backbone, while the invertebrates, they do not have a backbone. Some vertebrates include fish, amphibians, such as the frogs and toads, reptiles, birds, and mammals like us. And the invertebrates, they include the starfish, the jellyfish, the earthworms, the butterfly, the snails, the lobsters, and the shrimp. Now, back to the nervous system. As I said, the nervous system is divided into two parts. Look at the brain as well as the spinal cord. Here the purple ones. They form the central nervous system. They are the central nervous system, and with respect to the nerves that are at the periphery, they form the peripheral nervous system. And of course, as a remark, that we have two types of nerves: the cranial nerves, the ones that are related to the brain, and the spinal nerves, the ones that are emerging from the spinal cord to all the body organs. So the central nervous system, the CNS, it consists of the brain or encephalon and the spinal cord, which are protected by a bone. You know, we have the skull, and inside it we have a cerebrospinal fluid in order to protect the brain. And with respect to the peripheral nervous system, the PNS, it includes the nerves that connect the CNS to the rest of the body. Here is the organization of the nervous system of a vertebrate. Look at the human body. We have the brain and the spinal cord. Together they form the central nervous system. We have the peripheral nervous system. It includes the nerves, whether they were cranial nerves that are related to the brain, and the spinal nerves, the ones that are emerging out from the spinal cord. The brain, I just want you to know that it is divided into three regions. We have the front brain, the hindbrain, the midbrain. It's divided into three parts: the cerebrum, the two hemispheres cerebellum, and on the back side we have the medulla oblongata. So the brain includes the three parts: cerebrum, cerebellum, medulla oblongata, and the spinal cord. Here are the parts of the central nervous system. And with respect to the peripheral nervous system, it consists of nerves. Who knows what we mean by sciatic nerve? Why it is important? Sciatic nerve, it is the largest and the widest single nerve in the human body. The longest nerve in the human body is called sciatic nerve. It goes from the top of the leg, look, from the top to the foot on the posterior aspect. It supplies the whole of the skin of the leg, as well as the muscles of the back of the thigh and those of the leg and the foot. So it's responsible to supply all the leg and the foot with the nutrients, and it extends from the top of the leg to the foot on the posterior aspect or on the back side. Here is the sciatic nerve. It's just a remark to know what we mean by sciatic nerve, because it is found on in your book, in a document in your book. So just knowledge what do you mean by sciatic nerve. Now they have shown you three figures in your book. If you open your books, page 64-65, you have the nervous system of a human, you have the nervous system of a mouse, and the nervous system of a fish. If I asked you to compare between them, of course you know that all of them, they are vertebrates. If we compare between them, we can say they are documents, so we have to mention the similarities and the differences, right? We say all of them, they have common parts, including the encephalon or brain, cerebrum, cerebellum, medulla oblongata, spinal cord, and nerves. We say, look at the size of the brain. The size of the brain in humans is greater than that in the mouse and the fish. And if I ask you which brain is highly convoluted, what do you mean by convoluted? It contains many convolutions, okay? Wrinkles, we can say, okay? Of course, the brain of the human contains many convolutions compared to the mouse and the fish, okay? And listen, you have to know, the more it is convoluted, it is a remark that the more person is smart, okay? In other words, the more it contains the nerve cells. So moreover, concerning the compare, we say the size of the brain in humans is greater than that of the fish and the mouse, and it is highly convoluted. Why? The brain of the mouse is smaller and slightly convoluted, and a few convolutions exist in the brain of the fish. Here is the comparison between the three vertebrates. So we've compared the size, the convolutions, and the common parts, which are common in all the vertebrates, brain, spinal cord, and nerves. Here they are showing you an example in order to start distinguishing between what do you mean by receptor organ and motor organ or effector organs. I'm going to tell you something. Anything you receive it from the environment, actually, you are receiving it by your sensory organs. What are our sensory organs? The eyes, the nose, the ears, okay, the skin. They are allowing you to receive any message, right? Here, they are showing you an example. They are telling you when a mouse sees a cat, this is probing the activity number 3. It's very important. When a mouse sees a cat, it runs away. Okay, and it's true. When a mouse sees a cat, it runs away. Considering this behavior, determine the receptor organs and the effector organs. What are the receptor organs of the mouse? What allows the mouse to run away? Of course, the eyes. The eyes, they are the sensory organs or the receptor organs. They are the ones that have seen the cat, and once it sees the cat, it runs away. Then what happens once it sees the cat? The receptors inside the sensory organs, we have receptors, okay? The receptors, they send message to the brain, and the brain interprets the message and sends a message through the nerves to the muscles of the leg, which are the effector organs or the motor organs, in order to run away. You have to know something, that the effector organs or the motor organs, they are the ones that allow us to make action, to make movement, and they are the muscles of our legs. Okay, most of the cases you are going to be asked about the effector organs. They are the muscles, because they are the ones that allow us to make action or to make any movement. Okay, so in order to study any nervous communication, any nervous case in our real life, we have to determine the sensory organ and the motor organs. So the sensory organs here are the eyes of the mouse. They have seen the cat, and the message was taken to the brain, analyzed, and then the brain sends message to the muscles in order to run away. What are the pathways of communication between them? I'm going to ask you a question. What is the link between the eyes and the muscles of the leg? What allows the eyes, okay, and the legs to make communication between each other? Of course, they are the organs of the nervous system. Okay, so this allow you to find the first function of the nervous system, which is communication. So the communication that is taking place in our body between the receptor organs and the effector organs, it is due to what? It is due to the action of the nervous system that is taking place by the action of the brain, the spinal cord, and the nerves. So here the receptor organs are the eyes, the effector organs, they are the muscles of the legs, and they are anatomically connected. What do we mean by anatomically? We mean by it structurally. Structurally, they are connected to each other by the nervous system, the brain, the spinal cord, and the nerves. So the message is taken from the receptor organ by a sensory neuron. The neuron, the nerve cell that takes it, is called sensory because it is in the sensory organ. It takes it to the CNS, to the brain or the spinal cord, and then to the effector organs, which are the muscles of the legs. And this is all for activity 1. Any question, please ask me, my lovely students. Thank you.